So this morning, I wanted to go over the skills feature, the brand new skills feature, which is interesting. It's been available to our volunteers for a long time, but it hasn't been available to our partner organizations to utilize until just now. So it's been a little wonky and unusable until just now. So I'm going to go over how to use that and what that looks like. Also, I hadn't intended because I didn't think it was going to be live, but our brand new wish list is live today. And Maddie has just added that just this morning, the links to our website. So she'll be joining us in a few minutes because she's cleaning some things up. But I'll show you the wish list and how to utilize that and how your volunteers can do that. I'm very excited about this. This is a whole new level, especially if you're not able to use volunteers traditionally, like we haven't gotten back to normal. Here's a way that you can still connect with volunteers, engage them, and get the things that you need for your organizations. And the volunteer guide is new. If you haven't seen that too, we can take a look. The wishes are also posted in the volunteer guide. So extra exposure for the things that you need besides the listings. And please do feel free to ask questions. All right, I'm going to share my screen. So that we can go and look at the skills. I'm going to find, I had it open and only that open. Oh, goodness. Every screen except for the one that I specifically opened is available to share. Sorry, friends. Okay. Okay, Emma, are you with me? Do you see the partner portal? Okay, so I'm logged into the partner portal, and you can see it's my login, Spark the Change and Kelly. And for the skills, I'm going to go to the volunteer opportunities. And actually, I'm going to pause here real quick because there's a new format to our partner portal. Instead of having to scroll down forever and forever for all of our new content, you can see this is like the table of contents of what you can find below. So new volunteer guide, ads, spotlight, listing opportunities, community connection events. That's another new thing. My goodness, we have a lot of new things going on. The Wednesday resource webinars, we'll keep the schedule up there. The wish list is also down below, a little bit more of that in addition to tabs over here. And the tutorials and resources tab is new. And so there are video recordings as well as PDFs on how to post volunteer opportunities and other things that are over here. So you can click, rather than scrolling forever, if you see something that you're interested in, you can click right there and it'll take you straight down in the partner portal to find that information. So for the skills, we're going to go to the volunteer opportunities. The wonky thing about the skills is you add it to your volunteer opportunity after you've already created the post. So here are all our created and already posted and approved volunteer opportunities. I'm going to click on our Kind Connection telephone volunteer. Takes a second to get it going. And then you scroll all the way down to skills. This is the new feature down here. And you go to add skill. And there are a bunch of almost anything you could hope to add to your opportunity. I'm going to look for, this is a call. This opportunity is for volunteers to take calls from people that are unable to, they're isolated during COVID or any other time, and they need someone to connect with. So I might want to have my volunteers have experience with a helpline or a call center. If I click that and save it, now that will appear on my volunteer opportunity as a, okay, thank you, as a requirement for the skills. Now, the thing with this is you cannot see the partner organizations, you can't see all the skills that the volunteer has, But if you post a skill on your opportunity, it won't let anybody except for volunteers who have those skills selected in their profile apply for this opportunity. So keep that in mind if you want to cast a wide net. Maybe not use the skills, but if you truly don't want to weed through, if you have a really popular volunteer opportunity and you don't want to weed through all of the volunteers, you want to narrow it down and just focus on the skills that you need for this is the feature to use. So I'll show you the skills. Are you with me? Are you? I'm back on the main web page, and I'm going to find an opportunity.
I'm going to cancel this one.
All right. So I'm going to explore all organizations because I want to find my opportunity the fastest with Spark. And I'll just show you what the skill looks like. And then I'll show you from the volunteer opportunity or the volunteer side, how they enter the skills. So you can see what that involves. So we have a database full of volunteers who have been, like I said before, entering their skills for years. We just haven't had the means to be able to connect them to your opportunities until now. So this is very exciting. Okay. All right, so here's our kind connection, telephone volunteer. And over here is where it says down here, skills helpline. And so the volunteers can see in the requirements what is required. Now, I don't actually want to limit it to helpline on this. So I'm going to go back to managing opportunities and I can edit this out. If you decide that maybe you're not getting enough volunteers and you'd like to open it, maybe that isn't such a requirement after all, you can go back to your opportunity, scroll on down to the bottom. And it's loading my skills. And I just want to delete it right here. Yes, I want to delete the skill rating. And then the volunteers, the requirements will just be the previous requirements. It won't be any of, it won't show anything like that. Any questions on that? Feel free to take a moment and think. I'm going to get to the volunteer side of things so you can see all of the different kinds of skills that they can enter. Plus, volunteers can say whether they have a medium skill, whether they're an expert. And they can also upload certifications in their account. So we go to, if you have a volunteer account, it's my account. And
can I ask you a question really quick?
Yeah, Brittany.
So on the volunteer side, do you have like data or like even a general idea of how many of the people that are on the volunteer, like your list of volunteers, like this is pretty, sorry, my cat is like a part of this. How many actually like complete this portion? Like, is it pretty much everyone that like creates a profile at Spark or, okay.
No, because so it is optional. And now that we can use it, now that there's a purpose behind it, we are starting a campaign to really promote for the volunteers to go back in, and because they, after a volunteer creates their profile, they can always go back in and edit, and they can add not only skills, but they can also add to their demographics. So they can add their gender, they can add their ethnicity, they can add location, they can add all sorts of things, because all we require currently for them to register is their name, email, zip code, and birth date. By law, we have to have their birth date so we know that a 5-year-old isn't registering. So everything else is optional. And so we are starting a campaign to encourage volunteers to go back in. So here's all the things and more that they can put skills in: education and child support, So do I have any of these skills? I have classroom support. So I'm going to scroll my thing over here. I suppose I have computer literacy now that I'm by default the IT person here. So I'll put low though, just to be on the modest side or the more honest side. I do have financial budget literacy. That's what I used to teach. So those are my skills and I used to teach. So those are my skills. And now I'm going to update. And now if I see volunteer opportunities that have these skills, I, as a volunteer, can also search by these skills. So I can search for you. You, the organization, can't search for me, but I can search for you and find based on the skills.
Is there an option to add a skill either on their end or our end?
That is a great question. And I have a meeting with our web developer this afternoon, actually. And that is one of my questions. Because yes, as we're going through, for example, we have programs on mental wellness and the helpline is good. There were some skills in there, but they didn't quite address mental wellness, like a therapist. And so to be able to add skills like that is key. Great question. Any other questions about the skills and how to use them? Okay. I want to show you just a couple more things and then we can open it up if you have any questions as well. So I'm going to log out of here. I'm going to go back to our partner portal. I'm in the partner portal, and organizations, for you to use the wish list, you must be logged into the partner portal. And you go here to the tab. Now this is a premium member benefit. So if you're basic, unfortunately, it's not available, but you can upgrade to premium at any time. And there's lots and lots of benefits, including the volunteer guide, which I'll show you that as well. Lots of new benefits to that. So here's the wish list FAQ, which our developer Libby put together with some videos, which are very helpful of going through all the steps, because it is a 2-step process. Well, it's technically a 3-step, but the first one is to submit your request. And then one of the staff on our end have to go in and approve your request. And here's a video on how to do all of that. And then once you're approved and you'll get a notification, you go back in and you add all your items that you want to request. And so here's a super step-by-step tutorial on how to do that. And it is super key. The 3rd step is to report on the items that you received. This is, you will have the ability to manage your items. So if someone claims, you can say, yes, Brittany said she was going to bring us 3 soccer goals. She didn't bring us the 3 soccer goals. So those are still available. Or Brittany did, because she's awesome. She did bring us 3 soccer goals. So yes, this has been fulfilled. And I'll show you that in a minute. But here's all the tutorial on how to do that. And some extra, and you can videos on editing. Then to submit a wish, here's the, this is just the very basic, the first step that we're gonna fix. No worries. Like I said, Maddie is working on this in real time as we're doing it, but you can, this is where you would go. And there's not a whole lot to see because it's truly just submitting that, hey, I want to start making requests. Can you approve me? What you'll see for the volunteer sees though, the volunteer goes back on the main page to wish list, grant a wish. And here's the organizations that have submitted requests so far. And so you can see, and the very cool thing here too, is this is open to schools to submit wishes as well. And so they would be requested here. They can click if they're a school, when they submit, if they're, they can click.
I apologize, folks.
No, Brittany, go.
The questions. It seems like these wish lists can literally be for events, for office, for like, do you have any type of like limitations in your head of like what? No, not really. Okay.
The only thing is it has to be in-kind requests. It can't be monetary. or
Oh,
staff.
sure.
It can't
Yeah.
be people or money.
But like granola bars and water bottles, like all of that kind of a lot.
Absolutely. Yes, that's what this is for. And the purpose of this too is on our end, just as some of you are able to use volunteers like you normally would, we're not able to connect with our corporate partners for one, like we normally would, but their employees still want to be engaged. So not only are we promoting this to our volunteers, but our sales team is also promoting this to our corporate partners of here's a way to keep your employees, volunteers still engaged as a team. Do you want to take care of some of Extreme Community Makeover's wishes? They still need 100 brushes. Do you want to take gloves and trash bags and work gloves, or do we want to take care of all of it? Because that's something that we can do in our budget. So this is going to be, I think, a really fantastic way to keep everybody engaged and to get organizations the things, the items that you need that maybe our regular budgets wouldn't necessarily take care of.
Hey, Kelly, this is Lindsay. I have a quick question. I'm Lindsay Zabak. I work for Recycle. It's a nonprofit. We operate a diaper bank program. So in thinking through how we could list this, does each wish list item need to be connected with a project? So no, okay.
No, this is separate. This is separate from the volunteer opportunities. And again, thank you. That's a great clarification. If you need people, volunteers, you still need to make volunteer opportunity requests. These don't have to be connected with any project. It's just, what do you need? What do you need to be able to do your work in general?
Fantastic. This is such a cool outlet. Thank you guys for designing it.
I'm excited. I'm so excited that, and like I said, I hadn't intended to go over this today because I didn't think it was going to be live yet. And here it is. So, so I'll show you one more thing for a volunteer to claim an item or a corporate partner. They would go down, here's the claim type, they'll select, are they an individual, a family group, or a company? I'm an individual. And I'm going to, and here's my contact information, contact email address, and I'm not going to fill this out because I don't want Angela to get excited that one of her wishes is actually being claimed. But you go through and then you can select as a volunteer how much of each thing you can you want to claim. So you can claim one paintbrush of the 100 if you wanted to, if that's all you could do. That's totally reasonable. I mean, it's fine to do. So, and then the organization gets an email that Angela has requested is going to claim. And so then you and Angela or the volunteer can connect directly about those wishes and where to drop them off and how to provide them. Do you need this kind of paintbrush over that kind of paintbrush? All of those things. Ideally, you would have those details in the description. So there's not any bait and switch type thing of, oh, we do want the $100 paintbrush versus the $10 paintbrush, but to provide as much detail as you can for the volunteer. Other questions on this?
Hi, Kelly. I just wanted to pop in here. So the reason it wouldn't let you go to the submit request page is because it looks like it logged you out. You can see login up there. So you won't be able to access the submit a request page unless you're logged in as a member.
That's interesting because I was logged in. I was there in the partner portal.
Right. I think it kicked you when you went back to the main website for some reason.
Oh, okay. Ah, interesting. Okay, thank you. So let's see. Oops, I'm logging in as a volunteer.
Yeah, that's
Brittany's on it. I'm moving too fast here.
tech support part 2 over here.
Boy, thank you. And thank you, Maddie. And welcome, Maddie. Maddie is our guru for website, and she does all of this stuff. She's fantastic. And if you haven't met Amanda in person, Amanda is our admin gal for membership. So you've likely spoken to her to get all your passwords and whatnot logging in. So here, let's go. Okay, so here's the FAQs, just in case you need some help doing it. Because I'm logged in as Spark, it has my information here, but when you log in, it'll show your company and information there. And then requests type. There we go. Item or project. The difference here is I just want paintbrushes, I want water bottles, I want bike helmets. If it's a project, that is, I'm a school and I want a complete renovation project on our playground. Or I'm a nonprofit and I need some serious help with our office spaces. If it's a really big thing like that, those are projects that's where we would get our corporate partners involved. If it's just items, that's our day-by-day stuff. If I'm a school district, that's where I put that in. So I'm not a school district. Location information, you'd enter all this, contact information. Who is the best person to handle all of this? Is it you or is it somebody else? So if I am, then yes. If I'm not the primary contact, you got to put somebody else in if you're doing this on behalf of somebody else in your organization. And this is the in-kind gift overview, is just the basic description of why you need these items. Just that this is what the volunteer first sees, like we saw before. This is what they first see on the webpage, and that will entice them to, yes, I'm interested. I want to see what things they need and give. So this is kind of your advertisement for help us. Don't list all of the stuff that you need here. Just this is your description of why you need this stuff. And is it ongoing? Is it just until fulfilled, or is it very date specific because you have an event coming up? And you can click all those things and then submit request. And it does take some time for us we'll get the notification, we'll go in and approve it if you're a premium member, or if you're you have to be an active, your membership is active, and a premium member to be able to post on the wish list. And again, if you're not, you can upgrade to premium at any time. That's no problem. And let us know if you have any questions. And we will promote these wishes not only in the volunteer guide, but also we'll be promoting them in the org newsletter and social media and other avenues as well, kind of everywhere we can. Thanks, Brittany. Other questions? Okay, and if you haven't seen our monthly volunteer guide yet, it is awesome. This is one that we used to do, an annual volunteer guide. We used to partner with the Denver Voice when people could be out and about and be in person, and we could do a print guide. Then we did digital last year. And when we started doing a monthly volunteer newsletter, then we decided, well, why are we just doing a newsletter and then a guide as well? Let's do it all together. And so we're doing a monthly volunteer guide that is really neat. Maddie has done an amazing job putting it together, and you can see past issues on our website. This one was for Global Volunteer Month, and it's through Issue. And so it's a full-on magazine, and premium members get a listing in the guide. There's all sorts of other content. Here's the wishes, hiring, internships we post, board and virtual opportunities, and here's the listings. And nonprofits, basic nonprofits and premium can also purchase ads over here if you don't want to do a premium membership. So you can also be a part of it. And let's see, we have member spotlights, and I'm going to, yeah, we post board and virtual opportunities here on this page. So to really highlight who you're looking for. For example, Arrow Angel is looking for a grant writer. So we'll really promote those specific skills-based opportunities as well. Questions?
Yes, Kelly. This is Dorothea. How do you measure how much feedback and how much actual connection you get from the volunteer guide?
Great question. We take the metrics from how many people are clicking in it. And Maddie, can you speak to this? Because it's exciting.
So both Issue and MailChimp, which MailChimp is how we send it out to our volunteer list each month, give us some metrics and ideas of how many people are both opening the email with the guide in it and also clicking through the guide. And just in comparison, we only sent out April yesterday, but for our March guide, we actually had a really high engagement. So over 50% of people that we sent it to opened it up, as well as we only sent it to about 160 people because that's who's registered to receive it in our email list. But we actually had over 400 individuals interacting with it. So sharing it out into our social media and things like that and having it on our website brings people to it as well. And we've
Excuse me,
had
Matt-
about,
Madison, is anybody else having trouble hearing everything that Madison is saying?
Yeah, Maddie, can you hold your mic up to your mouth, please?
yeah, I'm sorry. I've been having
Sorry.
so much with it lately. It must be my earbuds. I think they're getting old. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So we've sent it out. We have an email list for our volunteers who've signed up to receive it each month, and that has about 170 individuals who are actively reaching out to receive it. Nothing. What if I just unplug? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Is that better? Okay. I can't hear you guys as well, but you can hear me.
Okay.
Anyway, we have a volunteer list that people actively sign up for to get the guide each month directly to their email. And that has about 170 individuals who signed up for it. But for our March guide, we actually saw over 400 individuals reading and interacting with it. And we also had a 40% click rate, which means people who are reading it have interacted with the links within the guide and are going to learn more or read about the opportunities, which is about 4 times higher than we've seen with our organization newsletter. So it really seems like the people interacting and receiving the guide are spending more time in the guide and actually interacting with the links more so than in a general newsletter style email.
Thanks, Maddie. We're also, and like Maddie said, the very first issue came out in March. So we're just starting to track all of this as well. But we're starting to take metrics on our volunteer engagement before a guide goes out and volunteer engagement after, and if they're connecting with posts as well. We also have started, I'm going to see if I can Zoom. We've also started a key where, and Maddie or Amanda is sending out surveys of whether or not you have virtual opportunities, whether you have available for groups, if it's family-friendly opportunities. And so you'll see like Douglas County Libraries has a lot here. They have the computer means virtual, the little orange with the family. They are also disability friendly. And so this key is at the beginning of the guide, and volunteers can just scan through and find the ones that they're looking for even faster, the organizations that have volunteer opportunities for them in particular. And again, our guide just came out for the first time in March, and now the second time yesterday. So the survey to get these keys involved it's ongoing, but I think it's really, really awesome. Other questions?
Going back to the wish list, do we have the opportunity to, like, whoever like claims the items, do we have an opportunity to coordinate with them?
Oh, yes.
You do, okay.
Oh, yes. Once the volunteer makes the claim, it's between you two to connect.
To connect and figure out-
Yeah.
okay, perfect.
We just become, just like the volunteer opportunities, we are not the middleman anymore. We're just the platform to post those. Yeah.
Because our offices aren't open, so if they tried to deliver something, it would not go over well.
Right. So yes, so then that's your opportunity to connect with, here's where you need to deliver and whatnot. And keep that in mind too, of posting your location. I believe, and I'll double check this, I believe you shouldn't have to put, if, like, for example, if it's your home address, your street address or your number, but you should be able to put at least Denver or Capitol Hill or wherever you are, so that if your office is downtown Denver, but you live in the Springs, a volunteer isn't like, holy cow, I thought I was bringing these things to Denver and frustrated, you know? Great questions. We have about 10 minutes. Does anyone have any questions about anything else?
I think for me, I'm just going to get in and play with it, and I may have questions later, but for now, I'm just really excited to explore and get some stuff going.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm excited. And the more wishes posted, the better, always, of course. And yeah, I'm excited to see this take off. I'm really excited to see volunteers have a chance to plug in. When we were thinking of this, I was thinking especially too of families. So if you haven't caught on, my passion and what my experience, I'm a teacher. I'm a former teacher, and I worked with kids in all different avenues. And so that's my passion. And I used to teach kids how to volunteer and give back. And so anytime I can find an opportunity for kids of all ages to be able to participate, here's a wish list. They may not be able to come and volunteer in person with you, but they can do a paintbrush drive at their school. They can do different opportunities to be able to participate and be active and give back too. All right. Anything else?
Kelly, I'd like to share something on our website. It's been there for a while, but I'd like to share it with you and the other people here, because everybody has connections, and you may find that you need this. And it's a map of adult education locations. Now, lots of this has gone to virtual, of course, over the last year, but I'd just like to show you what it looks like.
Sure, let me unshare my screen.
And then I can share?
I think so. I think I might have to give you permission.
Yeah, I think
You
you
should
do.
have permission to, everyone should be able to share their screen.
Okay.
Okay, good. Okay, but first I got to bring up, the right, because then I have to go to it. Okay. So here I am. I'm going to share screen. And I want to share
Good
that.
job.
And so there's Literacy Coalition of Colorado. And you notice we have a really simple URL, literacycolorado.org. We have a volunteer sign up for adult literacy people. And all that really happens is if they have specific questions, and we try to pass the names on, but it's really up to the volunteers to use the volunteer map to make the connections. Not all places. We've got our classes mapped divided into the ESL part and the adult education, which is the three tests that are approved for high school equivalency tests. And I'm going to go there. And so but not all places that have classes can use volunteers. Like the community colleges generally do not use volunteers. Mm-hmm. And if you're working with people coming out of prison, you may not be able to use volunteers. You may be able to use volunteers, but you're not going to show up on our map because you have a specific group of people who are your clients, who are the students. Mm-hmm. So it works both ways. An organization may be on the volunteer map and not on the classes map, or it may be on the classes map and not on the volunteer map. So in adult education, we have just a few places that are high school equivalency prep in Spanish. Now, of course, you can just zoom in to what's close to you. In Colorado Springs, the Teller Community Partnership, what is that doing? You click on, and that's where the directions are up above. You click on the item, you get the address and phone number, but if you then click on the title, you go to a page that has a little more details of what they do. And registration opens means you can come in anytime. It's not by like class semester or every 6 weeks or something else. By term is the other. And just, we posted a disclaimer on the top of each map page check with the organization because most of these are still doing it virtual. They're just starting to come back. And then there's a current schedule, which may be a different email or URL than the website. The website's for the organization. If they have a separate posting for their schedule, we try to put it up there. And it's not an easy thing to keep up with, but we're working on it. So thanks for letting me share. I'm sharing now.
Okay, you're welcome, Dorothea. Thank you for sharing. All right, does anyone else have any questions, anything to share? All right, well, the next one again will be May 26th. And I will post when we solidify what the topic will be there, May 26th. But then always, if you have questions, there's always time to ask your own tech questions or anything else that you have about volunteering, volunteerism in general, and we'll be, happy to help. Anything else you need?
Kelly, this is Angela from the Senior Hub. How are you?
Hi, great, thank you. How are you?
So we're fairly new to Spark the Change. I haven't even had a chance to get my stuff posted. But if I run into problems, who would be the best person to contact directly?
Me or Amanda?
Okay. I think Amanda and I've exchanged several emails back and forth. I just need to get with it. Okay. I'm excited. We need to get our stuff posted. So thank you for this today. This was helpful.
Oh, good, good. I'm so glad. That's the point. That's the purpose. All right, then. Well, team, if you don't have anything else, I'll let you go and get on to our days because I know we all have a load to do, but sure, you don't have to wait until the next one. Let us know if you have any questions or comments, and hopefully we'll see you again.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.